I say there's no hate in low riding. It's just jealousy. But you said no. The only negativity are those guys out there don't have any money,
Yeah, it's an expensive sport.
and they're
It's an
jealous to see you doing it.
Yeah, and it's an expensive sport, and you gotta be like you could always recognize the dudes that don't have your best interests at heart just by the little simple things they say, and you gotta just pay attention to them. Like say you buy a new project and it, must be nice. You start doing your chrome undercarriage, you're like, wow, simple little smart remarks
Oh yeah.
lets you know that person's integrity. You know what I'm saying?
What's happening, everybody? Joe Ray. You are on the Wired Down Show. Famous and special guest today is Rick Burrell. He comes with a lot of different titles, from hydraulics, builds these famous cars that go after masterpiece, oil paintings from famous artists.
Mhm.
But I'm going to let him talk first. Rick, go ahead and introduce yourself to the Lowrider fan base.
How's everybody doing out there? Thanks, Joe, for this this interview podcast. Yeah, just normal Joe, Rick. Started off with a dream, really. Out of Inglewood, Rick Rock is what they call me out there. I got that name from Sam, formerly of High. Well, he's still from High-Low, I guess. Mondo's brother. But yeah, cool little story I got for him.
Where do you come from? Where did you start all this
Um,
up at? Where are you from? What city?
Inglewood. I've always been out of Inglewood. Born and raised. High school was Westchester, which was not too far from there. Um, my parents are immigrants from Colombia and Ecuador. Um, they came here in the late 60s, 68, and built a life out here.
How did you get into lowriding? What was your influence?
Man, you know what?
First lowrider you saw?
It's kind of crazy because I had a bug, and my bug was everything to me. You know what I'm saying? It was my freedom. I got from point A to point B, school and back, to work and back. And I had a girlfriend, right, during high school. I think I might have been like 16. And she lived in Windsor Hills off of 43rd and Crenshaw. And one day she tells me, dropping her off on a Sunday, right? She says, when you go home, just don't go down Crenshaw. I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, kind of was weird to me. So of course, the little guy in the back of my head was like, just go down, see what she's talking about, right? So I went down Crenshaw, and yeah, man, it was Boys in the Hood. All I mean, that was it. I seen the actual the Shaw for what it was. You know what I mean? Lowriders on both sides of the streets, the Bug Club, the Nissan Club, the you name it. It was the mini trucks. It was all out there. You know what I mean? It wasn't just Impalas. It was everything. So I cruised down, and I'm like, damn, this shit's crazy. But never did I think that I would ever get into a lowrider. But I seen it. That was like my first glimpse
Mhm.
to them.
There's
Right.
all kinds of the best world of
Oh
bugs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything's out
It
there.
was going down. It was going down. Like, and listen, here comes this little 16-year-old kid, in a baby blue bug, just shifting gears, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like,
Is your
wow.
bug just stock back then, or
I
you
had it
did
dropped. I had
anything?
some chrome rims. I thought it was
Okay,
the shit. I ain't gonna
yeah.
lie, man.
Until you got down there.
And then I went down that street, and reality said, and then I was a bug, literally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I felt that small. But I mean, I was never like one of them dudes is like, I gotta have that. I always did my own thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I was never like a type of dude that, you know, um, followed the crowd. I always try to do my own thing. If I see something I like,
Right.
I'm gonna just take that idea and try to make it better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so fast forward, I want to say like the early 90s, um, right after the riots around that time. So I say about 92, 93. One of my buddies bought a 66 with 16 switches. And I remember telling him like, "Man, why'd you buy that? Come on, man. Only gangsters roll that. You know, you're gonna be, harassed by the police." Because during that time, it was a lot of harassment. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean? And the more attention the car brung to you, guess what?
more trouble you're
The
gonna be.
police is, that you were dealing with that era where it's like it was just a one look. That one look. They look at you one time. That's why they got the name One Time. It took one time for them to look at you to bust that bitch.
And you were profiled.
I don't know if I could cuss, but bust that
Yeah, you can.
yeah, bust that bitch and come, get you or harass you and see what you got or, you know, it, and I just remember telling them that like, nah, man, blah, 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 blah. And
You can cuss on that, man, because we're deprived
yeah,
on something we were enjoying. It's more than just a hobby.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Trying to have fun out there, and then you were just profiled
Oh,
big time.
straight up, and then where I lived at, it was centering in La Brea, and you had literally three districts right there. You had Inglewood PD, you had the sheriffs, and then you had LAPD that would be coming in and out of the airport. So that's three different agencies that would see you leaving, harass you. But it was always the sheriffs that put 10 on a 20. They was horrible. Lennox sheriffs, terrible.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying terrible. But yeah, he had got that, and I seen it, and I was intrigued. Um, then he had got a video shoot, with the dog. I think it was Snoop Dogg or some shit like that. You know, when before they were even who they were. You know what I mean? It was like um, I forgot one of the girls that was rapping, and it was her video. So they all went down there, and I went and glimpsed, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. And he sold that and got something else, and then I felt the bug. I bought me a Regal, and at first I was like, yeah, I'm just roll it the way it is, with some wire wheels. You know what I mean? Wire wheels. So here I go driving my little Regal with wire wheels. It didn't last long because you pull up on the boulevard and it's another car that looks similar to you, Cutlass, Monte Carlo, whatever, and they're hitting switches. Guess what? You're out of pocket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're at this point you're a wannabe. You're not even really doing something. And I just knew I had to cut it at that point. And I don't know if you remember Earl.
Yeah.
It was Jamaican
Yeah.
Earl.
Yeah. I remember you.
And he was cutting cars on Vernon and like Van Ness. And I took it down to him. I think he might have charged me $350 for a battery rack and to cut it out. It was like,
That's laughable now compared to what it cost
right.
now.
You know what I mean? I think you spend that just on the metal right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, he extended my arms. He put the battery rack in, and I think I might have had cylinders. He slid them in, and yeah, and I rode around like that for a minute without no hydraulics, but I thought I was cut.
So before we even get going here on your story, they always say, what got low riding going? The magazine, of course, helped.
Oh yeah,
Um, was it the Japanese market? And then everybody's going to say, it's the rap videos. That's what did it all. I mean, well, everybody's favorite car is a 64 Impala just because of rap videos.
right,
But that got you into it, the
right,
rap videos, and that's
right,
now look at you.
right. And mind you, I was against it. I was totally against it. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna say I was traumatized by the police, but they used to, man, I didn't see them do so much fucked up shit that it just
Come
why
out to
why put
Alhambra.
myself in that equation to where they're gonna harass me? Because I mean,
Yeah,
at that time, keep it 1,000 with you, you had to roll around with something. You know what I
yeah.
mean, to protect yourself because people weren't playing fair. You know what I mean? So you had to have something, and they knew that. The police knew that. The police knew like this fool got something on him. You know what I'm saying? He's too comfortable,
Yeah.
or whatever. And yeah, man, and I'm gonna tell you a funny story that the day I stopped, you know, like not stopped, but I knew I had to find a good stash spot for my strap.
Mhm.
And I was around 16 and I had a Nissan truck, right? I think I was older, maybe like 18, 19. But one of my buddies had just came home from camp. He was in youth camp. And he's only been out like a week. And he hits me up like, hey, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, nothing. What's happening? He's like, hey, come get me. Let's go to the swap meet. I'm like, all right, let's roll. So I go pick him up. And he lived right off of San Vicente um, in Slauson. I think that's San Vicente. I can't remember. But Overhill and Slauson.
Right.
I go pick him up or whatever. And I bullshit you not. Within a block of us driving off in my Nissan truck, get pulled over by the sheriffs. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's fresh out.
You had wires on it, or what did you?
I had some center lines on it.
Yeah.
Drop, you
Yeah.
know, looking cute. And man, I had a strap in my glove box, just sitting there. So I'm like, fuck, man. So I told him, I'm like, hey, dude, whatever happens, it's on me. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I know what's going on. Like I got to be responsible for that shit. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you'll see in a minute, man. So they pulled us out the car. We're both in the back of the patrol car, and the black officer ransacks the car, comes back to the back of the patrol car. And mind you, we're in handcuffs, so I'm literally like wiping my sweat on his back.
Yeah.
Because we're in there, no AC. He didn't roll down the windows. He did the shit on purpose.
They just put you in the car,
Yeah,
handcuffed you,
yeah,
put you in
yeah.
there for the time being.
So he comes, opens the door, and says, "Hey, is there anything in that car you need to tell me about? I mean, in that truck you need to tell me about?" I was like, "No." You know, mind you, I'm young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. So he pulls out the little gun. It was a little small, little 22 chrome, cute. You know.
Yeah.
I could have put it in my waistband, but not thinking. Just it was there that whole time. I figured like he's not gonna pull me out the car.
Guns in mini trucks.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever heard of that.
Yeah, for sure. And he's like, "What is this?" I said, "Man, keep it 100 with you. That's my dad's." But he just looked at me. He's like, "You're gonna fuck your whole life off doing dumb shit." And he starts fucking with it. He took the whole top of the gun off, pulled the firing pin out, put the firing pin in his thing, went back, threw the gun on my seat, came back, took us out, handcuffed us, and said, "Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm looking for dope today." I was like, I looked at him, man. I busted a U, dropped him off, and I bullshit you not. That was the last time I seen my homeboy. His name's Damon, Lil Smurf.
Yeah.
That was the last time I seen him. We didn't talk no more. It was like he just came home from youth camp. I'm like still out here doing dumb shit. And it was just like, I could tell that he was uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have fucked him off. He could have went back in. But I just shared that story with him not too long ago, and he was just like, man, God's always blessed you.
You see, and cops can take away from all the fun we had. It's like, got nothing better to do, man. I always had sarcastic answers for them, and I'd be just driving around with a carton of milk.
Yeah.
Clean as can be always, and I'd be flying on top of hoods, handcuffed, and or throwing on the grass right there, and they'd search my whole car for drugs. And it's like, what do you?
Because you were a big guy,
but
though.
they just wanted me to just don't come to my city or whatever. But every now and then, you're gonna meet a pretty cool cop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And those are the ones that kind of guide you down the road a little bit.
You'll
never forget.
I mean,
it's cool.
Listen, that day right there, I could have caught a case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I could have caught a case. It was loaded. You know, it was no he had me point blank, man. You know what I mean? And that's why I look back at my life and I'm just like, man, God's always been there trying to show me, listen, man, you messing up. Stop. You know what I mean? These signs have been there all my life, and it took a long time for me to just say, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel.
Well, the G body you had, you took it down Crenshaw. I mean, that place it was hot. It was like any other boulevard scene. It was going on there, but there was a lot of there's hydraulic performance competition there.
Oh yeah.
Not so much the paint and the customization like on Whittier Boulevard. Over there, it's how high can you go, right?
Oh, for sure. Crenshaw, I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. I was raised on Crenshaw. As far as like my car enthusiasm
Mhm.
was raised on Crenshaw. My car low riding was raised on Crenshaw. I didn't experience Whittier. I didn't experience the Valley. I mean, I knew about him, but it was like, you know what Crenshaw felt like? It was like
This is
fucking,
back in the 80s too that we're talking
yeah,
about,
we're
right?
talking about 92 till now. You know what I'm saying? So now when I look at it, I go down the street, like so many memories pop in my head, like, damn man, I remember this. I remember busting a U-turn here, doing three-wheel here, doing, like so many great memories and a lot of bad memories too, but bad memories that really didn't involve me, but I seen some shit, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
shouldn't have seen, but I mean it was, I loved it, man. I loved it. Like I can't take away nothing. um how can I say it? Like negative to that to I could be like, man, I wish I would have never. Nah, man, that's part
Everything
of
was
my life.
positive.
Yeah, that's
Even the negative
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
has
yeah,
to you
yeah,
learn
yeah.
a lesson.
Because even the negative shit, the things that I seen, it was like the dude that had it done to him, or whatever the case, kind of was like on some I did something to you, you're not gonna do something to me type
Mhm.
shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like every dog has his day. You know what I mean? Like you can't come out there thinking you're the big shit, and it's something's gonna happen to you, especially if you live in foul out here.
The car clubs that were out there back then,
Man,
they're still out there today though.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like
Professionals.
like like for instance, my buddy that we had that had the 6.6,
Mhm.
he started hanging out with the stylistics. And it's a couple of stylistics. There's the the Latino one, and
Y
then there's the black one. There's
Right.
two different stylistics. You know what I'm saying? They spell the same, but two different plaques. One's shaped like a pyramid. The other one's more scrolly.
Mhm.
Um, so he starts hanging out with them. I start coming around, and during this time, as all car clubs do, they break up.
Right.
So now you got four other clubs coming out of that one club. You know what I mean? You have Public Enemy. You had oh my God, I can't even think of all of them. You had Public Enemy, I think, Riders Only. You had I want to say My Way. It's like 4 or 5 different clubs that expanded from it. And yeah, I basically chose Public Enemy as my first car club to be from, and that's those guys right there are the ones that kind of like taught me what to do, what not to do, what made sense, what didn't make sense as far as what you're gonna do with your car. Because if you listen to everybody else, like, oh, you got to have 16 switches, you got to have 12 switches, four, front, back, corner, corner. That's all you need.
Mhm.
Especially if you're gonna go out there and just play with it. You know what I mean? Make the nose go up and down, get your little three-wheel on here and there, but yeah, man, great times. And it was so it was the brotherly aspect of it, like of you around, and this person has this and they know you're building a car and you're only like 19, and they're like, hey, here, I know you need this for your car, or here, come over and we'll help you do this to your car. I fell in love with that shit. You know what I mean? That helping hand. And I've always, if anybody knows me since I've been 15, I've always been a helping hand to anybody and never wanted anything in return but to help me when I need you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a big brother effect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Most car clubs are like that.
And it sucks because a lot of people take that for that kindness for weakness and think that um oh, he'll help me, but once he needs my help, I don't need him. I won't help him type of deal. And I
Mhm.
can't stand that
Yeah.
aspect of it. A lot of people, I've seen dudes join clubs and tell me like, oh, well, they're helping me with my car. I'm like, that's why you join? Like, that's not the answer. You know what I'm saying? I like in the back of my head, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever tell them, that that's not why you join a club. You join a club because you feel comfortable with the people. That's the main ingredient. You know what I mean? They're little families. That's how I look at them. Like every club is a little family. Some families are humongous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Every family bickers. Every family argues.
Just more problems.
Yep. So it's always, to me, it's always been cool to just a couple, you know, quality over quantity.
So your upbringing, Inglewood, Crenshaw down the street, weapons in many trucks,
All that.
the G body,
Hmm.
just Crenshaw by itself is a way of life.
Hmm.
Going through all of that, through all your experiences, there's a motto out there that keep your nose clean and your hands dirty.
Hmm.
So you went out there, got involved in low riding, got your hands dirty, all right. You started to get involved to keep out of trouble. Would you say to keep out of trouble, you started getting involved into helping build cars, not just suspension cars as well?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It was it just you got to think about it. I was at the peak of the dope game. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So you you make your little money
Hmm.
and you have a lot of time on your hands. A lot of dudes would be just on some spending their money on women and doing, going out of town, gambling, that type of shit. I was a car dude, man. The cars. My dad hated how much I absorbed the car game because then now it's like I'm buying this, I'm taking this apart. And mind you, I'm figuring shit out. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm figuring it out. You know what I mean? I bumped my head a gang of times, but it was I'm gonna figure it out, you know? And my driveway was constantly harassed by Inglewood code enforcement because they're like, you can't even wash your car in your driveway and you're doing way too much. You know what I'm saying? So we see that little white car coming down the street, we're like, oh, hey, put the tools away. You know what I mean? It was crazy though. But see, they thought it was a chop shop, but we were actually working on our own cars. But
And you did. You came across working on some badass cars, including your own.
oh yeah. Hmm.
What would you say would be your most? I know you had a G body. You jump right away into the 63, and then you call your cars, and they're well built.
Hmm.
They're on magazine covers and all.
Hmm.
There's Van Gogh, the Dutch painter. You call them after famous painters, and then you get your wings,
Hmm.
and you come across the 59. Bad. We got to talk about that color. Um, you've built cars like that, award-winning cars, and you've for yourself and for others.
Right.
You want to talk about that?
Um, I've all my biggest like how can I say like high school, college, all in one was high low. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I always got to give Mondo daps for letting me in his door because if I would have never went in that shop and seen what I seen and admired in the friendships that I built there, and I still talk to all them dudes to this day, man. It's crazy. Like I built relationships individually with everybody there, and they would always make fun of my Spanish. It was the running joke there,
Uh-huh.
but they knew that if they needed me, I'm the type of dude that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go to your house, I'm gonna help you put the refrigerator in your kitchen, I'm gonna help you go load this. I'm a help. I've always been like that, you know what I'm saying? Uh, and if it wasn't for that door to be open, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest with you.
What's wrong with your Spanish? So I heard you speak a while
It
ago.
it it was bad back then.
It was.
It was bad. It was horrible.
My Spanish is bad unless I have a couple beers and I can roll my R's real
Yeah,
good.
no, it was. I mean, honestly, it felt like when them late 90 years when I was there, it's kind of like my Spanish actually got better because I was speaking Spanish all day long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm speaking Spanish from 8 to 5 with all these different dudes. I go to lunch with them. We speak all in Spanish, and it was like wow. You know what I'm saying? My mother even was like, "You sound Mexican." Like, my mom's a trip, man. But she said that. I was like, well, mom, I'm just absorbing what I'm listening to,
Yeah.
I don't even hear it. It sounds fine to me.
Living the life.
Yeah.
Mondo, high low. So you get into high low and you learn and
Man.
then you graduate from there and come up with your own hydraulic shop.
Yeah. And what's a trip prior to high low, I was messing with Eminem, Chico from Eminem.
Hmm.
And he was the one that actually cut two of my cars. prior to high low, right? So when he cut my cars, I want to say that he didn't install the hydros. I did. He just cut them. You know what I'm saying? And so one of my neighbors that lived on the same block as me on the corner, his name was Rob, Big Rob, right? And he was under house arrest. But Mondo, they were buddies. So Mondo would always come visit him. You know what I'm saying? So I always seen the big high low on his truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one day, mind you, Rob seen all my fucking shit. And I mean the good, the bad, the ugly. Like a lot of bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? More than good. And so one day I'm like, hey, what's up, man? You know that dude? He's like, yeah, that's my buddy. He was like, that's the owner of that shop, right? Yeah. Ask him to let me work there. Mind you, I'm snot nosed right then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm young. He's like, are you gonna take it serious? That's what he tells me. He's like, you gonna take it serious? I'm like, yeah, take it real serious. He was like, nah, my name's on the line. And that always clicked in my head. Like, if I do get a job there, take it serious because I'm gonna make my boy look bad. You know what I'm saying? Mondo let me in the door. Said, what do you know how to do? I said, I know how to build pumps. I know how to install solenoids, all the little small repair shit. It's like, but the wiring I have issues with. After that, I mean, I think I did 2.5 years there, and fuck, man, just what I was witnessing was greatness from start to finish builds. And I don't know if you remember, but he had a '63. I want to say it was like a real light red,
Okay.
and he called it Picasso.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me think, like, yeah, man, these are works of art. I gotta name my cars behind artists. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
They all
that's
are
where it came
works of
from,
art.
to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, but then once I got my tray and I started building it or whatever, and keep it 100 with you, I'm colorblind. So some colors I have difficulty with. Van Gogh, the car you talking about, the
Mm-hmm.
tray, I picked the wrong color, but it was painted.
Mm-hmm.
And the color really didn't do nothing for me. So that's when I reached out to Doc and I said, hey man, can you throw some patterns on this thing, give it something. I didn't know he was gonna do what he did to make it just like pop. You know what I mean? And it changed the whole car. The car
Oh yeah.
completely changed its look.
Especially with his design
Oh
work.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then yeah, man, it was just knowing that I had Doc work on my car, I was like, man, this shit is awesome, you know. And
So
yeah,
that's a '63 Van Gogh, and you
hmm
built that twice. You
built
came
that
right
twice
back
too.
again.
And the reason I built it twice because the first paint job wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't great. Uh, and what sucked about that, I entrusted one of the guys that worked with me at High Low. I don't even want to mention his name, give him zero credit because he kind of did me dirty on that deal. Because I had to go look for my car after a year. I gave him my car, gave him some money, and ghost.
Wow.
So then I find it, um, had to harass him to paint it. He painted it. But like I said, it was the wrong color. I wanted a champagne. It came out like purple. But yeah, I knew I wanted to name it an artist name. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to use Picasso because Mondo just had Picasso.
How many cars did you have before you get to that 59? And the 59 was a while back.
Yeah, man,
You
I,
broke
I
out
don't
with a
I don't I don't know how
59
many cars I've actually.
New Mexico
Yeah,
is when I first saw it
yeah,
under
yeah,
those lights. Is beautiful.
yeah.
How many cars
Hey, you want to hear a
have
funny
you
story?
had? Yeah.
They only that was my first time in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife rode out. Um, what's crazy is I think Scottsdale's was the week before that because I remember
Yeah.
we were on the road 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't remember which show was first, but me and her rode out, drove 14 hours to get there. I got a habit of going out of town I will never get my room until I peep it out because I've always been scared of, you know, someone stealing the truck, stealing my merchandise. Because it was like double job for me. You know, I'm doing the car and I'm doing the booth for the business. So I get a room out there, whatever. I get up 7 o'clock in the morning, go out to start it up, and someone broke into the truck. Someone broke into the truck, and mind you, the 59's in the enclosed behind me, and they didn't get into there, but I always disconnect something out of the truck so it doesn't start. If it wasn't for that, Picasso would have been gone.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even been in that show.
Yeah, it's anytime you go past 30 miles out of your own area, it's like seems like the laws change.
Yeah,
Cops are different, everybody, the
and
criminals are different.
and the guys up in New Mexico, I befriended a whole bunch of them. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh man, yeah, this is the car car thieving capital of the U.S." I said, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little warning ahead of
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying? But was what it was. But
That was your breakout show
yeah,
right there?
yeah. Mhm.
That tangerine, now you're telling me you're colorblind. I wanted to talk all about the tangerine. One of my favorite colors. What base? It's PPG tangerine, right?
It's House of Colors.
House of Colors.
Mhm.
What base did they use?
It's a gold base on top with the patterns and
Yeah.
silver base on the bottom. Orion silver on the bottom.
Instead of a rag 59, because at that time too, man, they were just taking over, right? You wanted a hard top
I did. I mean,
because of Doc and the
not
patterns.
not only that, it was more or less like you got to understand like my upbringing. I looked at Charles Clayton with his 59. I
Right.
looked at G with his 59. I looked
Uh-huh.
at Rat with his 59. Those were the ones I seen. None of them were convertibles. You know what I
With
mean?
the two-tone effect, that one color
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the
yeah.
patterned out roof. All
Right,
by
right.
Doc too?
Huh?
All by Doc? All
Uh,
those cars, were they all done by Doc?
yeah,
The designs?
yeah, yeah, yeah. My Picasso was actually done by Skippy. Doc got sick on me.
Yeah,
He was actually hired to do it, and then I got a picture of him actually putting some tape down on the belly. But he was hired to do it, but we couldn't connect. And me being impatient,
Mhm.
I was like, I don't want to drag this on. Like my car's ready to get put together. I had all my stuff already. So I got Skippy. I told him what I wanted. I just tell him Doc patterns. He go to work. Shout out to Skippy. He's a badass, man. Very, very talented dude. Jay's Customs in Paramount.
Yeah, that paint job was pretty nice because I couldn't figure out from white. I'm familiar with tangerine on pearl white.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to silver, it starts to turn into a rusty type of color.
Yeah.
Yours was in between all of that.
Yeah,
It was just
and
bad.
when it's dark, it's red.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have a
It
red
has
and
three
definitely
different tones.
red in there.
Yeah, it's definitely had three different tones. I think that's my last like full build though, man. I'm gonna finish up my wife 58 and that's it for me. I mean, I look at it like my girl, like my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I put my all into her.
Right.
I don't want to cheat on her.
She's been down that long road.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes rough too.
Yeah,
Hydraulics. You have your own hydraulic shop.
yeah.
Low Life Hydraulics.
Mhm.
That's you. How's hydraulics changed from back then when you first started and you knew everything except maybe not the wiring?
Yeah.
Look where we're at today. I know the
Right.
equipment is a little bit, it's more reinforced, the frames, everything.
Right.
What do you think are everything completely changed then, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we got better parts.
Do they break down anymore?
They break down when it's a user fault.
Yeah.
I mean, because literally we could put this stuff in industrial use and it'll work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I've been made like a 30 by 20 platform that tilts back and forth off of our hydraulics.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because the guy wanted he was an artist and he wanted to build big paintings. So he wanted to be able to see it and then lay it back down, have him paint it and go up and see it. So I did it for him. So our stuff, I mean, it works. You know what I mean? You could put this on stuff on.
The more performance, I'm one of those guys that's park and lay. 4
Yeah.
batteries.
I'm with you.
I used to be in the 6 when I was younger, and I thought I was crazy with 6 open in my trunk, and I seen 50 batteries in some trunks. I've
Yeah.
seen it all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the more you wanna perform and get off that ground or lock up, whatever it might be, here comes the frame reinforcing and all of that. The only thing is you go on in years from driving,
Mhm.
rolling over railroad tracks and almost falling out of the car.
Mhm.
The more performance you want, the worse the ride is still going to
Oh,
be.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, the heavier
It's just
you
not
are on the
meant to
back
be.
end, the
Yeah.
the rougher you're gonna be down the road.
What do you feel about shocks all the way around, holding the car, stabilizing the car? I
Shocks are
like
good.
shocks in the front,
Um,
mounted sideways.
yeah, I've never put them in the front because 'cause
Mhm.
I've always, wanted the front end to snatch a little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
yeah.
Even though my 9 don't do a damn thing, you know what I mean? But guess what? My
Or it's
car
not supposed to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've driven my car to, from LA to San Diego for the Bass show. I've
Yeah.
driven my car from LA to the Ventura show for Bird show. I mean, it's been driven, and I float. Like anybody will tell you, like I get my ride on. You know what I mean?
And there's two types of lowriders: the street lowriders, and
Mm.
then the show, or like they call them, trailer queens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you have a yours is a queen. It just doesn't go on the trailer.
Right, right, right.
You dump all
I
that
mean, the
money
first
into
year,
it. You got to go out and
the
enjoy it.
first year,
Yeah,
she stayed on the trailer.
yeah.
I made sure that it was gonna, hit all the shows, and I mean, I did good the whole year. And I don't know, it was just one of the things that I just wanted to do that. I wanted to have that experience to go to all these different cities, display my car, see how it does, and I think most of us that do that love it. You know what I mean? Because I've met some of the greatest people out there, man. New Mexico, Oregon, Seattle, Texas, Arizona, San Francisco. I mean, you name it, Colorado. I met some of the greatest people that are just like love this shit just as much as I do. You know what I mean? But they just didn't do it a bit as a business. They just built it. You know?
Hmm. And they welcome you there
Oh yeah,
to
oh
their
yeah,
house almost,
oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah.
They admire
Bring
you for
bring
being
bring
there.
your
They
shit over here.
introduce you to
Park in
their
the driveway.
family. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Come over to the house. They're having a barbecue
yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the great things about low riding. Earlier today, you were talking about low riding today, and the people out there that talk the most that are negative. Well, I always say they don't have cars, but you said something perfect about it,
Mm.
about guys that are out there. I say there's no hate in low riding. It's just jealousy. But you said no. The only negativity are those guys out there don't have any money,
Yeah, it's an expensive sport.
and they're
It's an
jealous to see you doing it.
Yeah, and it's an expensive sport, and you gotta be like you could always recognize the dudes that don't have your best interests at heart just by the little simple things they say, and you gotta just pay attention to them. Like, say you buy a new project and it, must be nice. You start doing your chrome undercarriage, you're like, wow, simple little smart remarks
Oh yeah,
lets you know that person's integrity. You know what I'm saying? Instead of clapping for you and being like, man,
more
you
power to
handling you
you.
handling your
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
I can't wait to see it.
yeah.
That's the type of shit that I want around me. I don't want no, like I cheer everybody on, man. I've always tried to just be uplifting, and I've changed as far as like how I project it, because I used to keep it 100, be a dick, be like, man, you putting that shit on your car? Like, you know what I mean? Like in a funny but negative way. But now it's like you should do it this way, and it's only going to be better for your car in the long run.
There was on social media not too long ago. They were discussing. I guess the other 520 is going to break out
Mm.
pretty soon. I think Jason from up north, he's going to bring out the premium Sportway
Mhm.
against Cokers, and everybody has an idea on which tire is better, which one looks better. Get these, you can't get those. Everybody's dumping on everybody. It just went nuts. It's like we're talking about a tire,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
and there's a lot of guys that are on there that
Might
don't know
not
what
even
it's
have.
like to even wear them out and have to get another set.
Yeah, might
They're
not even
on there.
have them.
It's like,
Might not
come
even have a car to
on.
put them on.
It's
That
so critical, so
man,
technical.
it is. It is. Like I've always looked at like speak by from experience and like do how can I say it like oh shit lead by example.
Yeah.
Lead by fucking example. Don't talk about it, be about it. Like,
Yeah.
don't talk like for me, I can't even speak on that. You know why? Because I don't even ride premium sportsway. Because guess what? I had one bad experience. I was butthurt, and I never bought another set. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But you know, it's I seen the good, I seen the bad. So it's like
It's
gotta
all
lead by
part of the
examples, man.
game.
You know
It's
what I'm
all part
saying?
of the game.
Yeah, yeah,
So you left your car club that you initially started with,
yep. Well,
and
I've been in two prior car clubs.
mhm,
The first one was Public Enemy. That was like um, the birth of my literally my low riding career, and I probably would have still been there if they wouldn't, change and went into the motorcycle scene. You know what I mean? Because I mean that's basically what happened. A lot of people just went into that scene and kind of left this alone.
mhm.
And I was actually one of the last dudes that had a plaque left. And Toshi from Japan, Tattoo Toshi they call him,
Yeah.
still around. One day he's like, "Hey, you want to sell your plaque?" I'm like, "Well, I guess I don't know, And sold him my plaque. He said he wanted mine. Out of all the people's there, he wanted mine. So yeah, the club got put on the shelf, I guess, and I kept on riding, I kept on building, um, and then about '07, uh, this person befriended me, um, sold him a car, a '62, and we were all hanging out, and we were thinking about different car club names, and he said that uh, I only been in one club, and I'm still from that club, and that happened to be Showtime. Um, so during this time, it was still Showtime Hydraulics. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I can't be from that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I'm like,
Right.
in
Conflict of
my mind,
interest. Yeah.
I'm associating them
Yeah.
without thinking it's two different entities. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I can't be part of that.
Well,
Because Showtime.
Showtime's right there at the Forum.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You're living in
Right,
Inglewood.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. And so I told him like the only way I could join, well, be part of that club is on the bottom. It has to say like car club and it has to say SoCal. It has to, I had all these things in my head that it had to have say before I could rock the plaque. So yeah, it birthed right there from that. And I think that was like '06, '07. And had a good run. I think I want to say like 15 years with them.
Is that the same Showtime? Because
Showtime.
there's a when I first jumped into the magazine, one of the first shows was up in Portland,
Hmm.
and
Same.
Showtime rolled in. A
Super.
lot of cars rolled in crossing the border, but wow! And that show, it was Showtime when they got there.
Yeah, yeah. The
Different
that's
club or
Gary. That same club,
mm-hmm,
different chapter. That Seattle chapter. We had a member out here named Alex that birthed that chapter out there.
mm-hmm.
And when he birthed that chapter out there, they ran with it. You know what I mean? And they never stopped. And they actually built cars way, way. I mean, not say better, but to a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when we birthed over here again, like
Mm-hmm.
reborn, the Showtime SoCal, mind you, it was like a big gap that it was not around. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But Seattle had been going strong for many years, and and I'm not gonna say it was an issue, but the issue was is like there was not no communication, between the chapters right then and then. Um, but long story short, I gave him 15 years, and um, I had to leave for the simple fact that they allowed someone in that club that should have never been in that club. You know what I mean? I was raised out here that if you're on some type of paperwork or if you're a chomo, you can't be around that type of person. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt it in my heart that it was better for me to leave than to cause drama within them. And
Was that the only chapter?
SoCal.
Seattle and SoCal. That's
No,
it.
it's four chapters. It's Seattle, SoCal, um, West Coast, and Arizona.
Does the mother chapter run all three, or
Nope,
they're just
nope,
all
nope, nope.
they're all
That
separate?
and that was a big issue because some you know communication's key, man. You can't walk around here like your shit don't stink.
Yeah.
And there was one dude from the mother chapter that walks around like his shit don't stink. And I felt like I always had to take the brunt for his BS. You know what I'm saying? Because I talk to everybody. I never had no issues with nobody. But you know, when you got someone that has that much ego, guess what? All you do is alienate people, and no one wants to fuck with you.
And Rick, I'm gonna tell you, and I don't know in today's times how chapters can survive, and that's all what low riding is. There's like 1,000 car clubs, times if you want 750 of them have chapters, times that times this members, cars, and every and that's why it's worldwide in Japan and everywhere. But everybody that leads these certain chapters has a different style of how to build a car.
Mhm.
Not the same style as say here
Mhm.
is different from, let's say, going back out to Atlanta if you want, right?
Mhm.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Everybody's got an ego or they're power tripping
Mhm.
and they want to change the style up. And because four doors work over here or bombs,
Mhm.
they're going to push that issue. And you're the mother chapter and you're trying to tell them, no, this is the way it is. You're branching off of us. You can't change it. Hey, our cousins are different. I don't see how some of the car clubs even
Allow it.
survive or allow it
Mhm.
today,
Mhm.
but they do, and they're still strong despite all the hate, the egos, all of that stuff. How they can work it out, get online, get on a phone call, let's meet at this show. It seems to survive. When you hear all the negativity about low riding, and you look at chapters, and I'll say it again for the 50th time. I have one car club, no chapters. There's probably about six of them inside there. Everybody's got their own little cliques within that
Mhm.
chapter,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It's hard to keep it together. And if they don't have the right leader there that's not about themselves, it's not gonna work. And somehow, some way, it survives today in low riding.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it the reason it works because some people, man, I didn't seen so many people go in and out of clubs like it's ridiculous, dude. Like, and I don't mean like kind of like McDonald's. You got what I'm saying? When you got them big clubs, people come in one week, they might stay a year, 2 years. They don't like something or get into it with somebody, boom, they gone. You know what I mean? Like it's get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? Peep them out first. Before you join a club, be around them first. See how they move. See how they talk to their kids. See how they talk to their women. See how they talk to themselves. You know what I mean? That'll tell you everything.
Everything right there.
You know what I mean? And best believe the signs were there. My wife always told me like, I don't see how you didn't see it.
Well,
And,
you got to give benefit of the doubt, right?
right. But I was like, dang. But you know what? If it wasn't for that situation, I probably still been there.
Yeah.
Cause the good that we had overwhelmed the bad. The bad was just, small and minute, you know what I'm saying? But that to me it was it wasn't I wasn't raised like that. I couldn't deal with it.
So you transferred or graduated from that.
Yep.
I mean, we get older and we're
Yeah.
in a car club to enjoy everybody's different
Exactly.
stories, right?
Exactly.
Your new car club?
Champions Car Club. And but I want to say this year is our fourth year. So I mean it was I had a lot to do with my dad.
Mhm.
Um he loved Inglewood.
Is your dad still around?
No, he
Oh
passed.
man.
He passed 3 years ago.
A few
And
years ago?
three.
Three, but he
Three.
got to see who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he
Even though you
oh,
invested all that money in the
listen.
cars, and now look what it made you.
Look, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I opened in 2004 on Century and La Brea, and my dad grabbed like a bulk of business cards and went around to
Oh
every
man.
business in Inglewood.
Yeah.
Go
Oh
go
man.
go go see my son. Go see my
Yeah.
son. Go see my son. And I'm telling like dad, everybody doesn't have a low rider. And he's like, it don't matter. You could still do something for them. You
Yeah.
could weld something. You could wire up something. I know you could do it. My dad believed in me so much, man.
Oh,
And
that's beautiful, man.
he believed in me. And even he, you know, it's funny how much love that he never like verbally said it, but how he expressed it was with his actions. You know what I'm saying? When I used to get arrested when I was a teenager and he would come get me from the police station, we'd be that ride from the police station home, because they would always let you go to your parents. If it wasn't a serious crime, it's like they just let you out with your parent, whatever. And my dad would just be driving mad as fuck, and he'd just look at me. He's like, "Why do you do what you do?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know, Dad. I don't know. I don't know." He was like, "We try to, you know, give you whatever you want." I was like, "I don't know. I really don't know." You know what I'm saying? It's like dumb. You know?
What my dad, man, see that hurts right there. Hearing what your dad went and did, so innocent, and God, then when you go back and you have all these memories, that one's gonna come to you all the time.
Yep.
My dad had a brand new Lincoln. I had a brand new Lincoln. I painted mine right away. He had a nice garage. I did it. And I would come in to visit. And I tell him, Pop, you got to move your Lincoln out of the garage. He goes, I'm not going to take that thing out. He worked hard for his, right? Because I'm not going to take that thing out for yours, but mine's painted. Come on. He goes, I ain't pulling that out. He'd get mad and walk off and grab his beer, go to the patio. He'd come back later, get in it, fire it up, pull it. Okay, pull it in. And he goes, are you going to stay the night? Yeah, we might stay the night. He goes, okay, we're good. My car's all right. It's locked. But I mean, he loved it, everybody that was around it, the cars, the whole thing. Those all became his sons. All the club would come over and swim and all that. And I remember we used to jam Led Zeppelin full blast in the garage. And my dad wasn't in that. Was in Elvis Presley or maybe Frank Sinatra. So he had to get used to those songs. And every now and then he'd come in and he just liked the whole scene, like probably your dad had to. And then
Yeah.
if you lost him 3 years ago, he saw you become successful and the friends you had. Look at all the friends. Look at as being almost a role model, the way of life, maybe from the days of the mini truck and the gun and the cop and what it turned you into.
Yeah.
And you don't think people have followed you? And your dad saw that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was, he was one of a kind, man. I admire his sacrifice, to to come here and build a family and build it. He had a business. I've always wanted to be somewhat like my dad. You know what I'm saying? He For him to come here, and I'm gonna tell you, he was a professional soccer player.
Mm-hmm.
So he made some money in the late '60s. Took that money that he made and came out here to build something. He didn't know what he was gonna build, but he knew he was gonna build something. And he had bought 2 gas stations.
Wow.
So I mean, he had money. Bought his property in Inglewood, and 1987 came, and there was an accident at the gas station, and he got sued and lost everything. And the only thing that were able to keep was his house. And yeah, that was the he changed. He completely changed. He wasn't the same person no more.
Oh, man.
He wasn't that outspoken, vibrant person. He was more or less like just I'm fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Someone that used to be able to just
Yeah.
get money out of his pocket like nothing. Now it's just like, but he accomplished so much, man. You know, properties in Colombia, properties in Ecuador. He accomplished a lot. He had a good run but me being young at that time, I didn't understand it. I was like, why I got to get a job? You know what I'm saying? My sister didn't get a job. Why I got to get a job? You know what I mean? It's like, and he would tell me like, well, you want some school clothes or you want some shoes, you better go get you a job.
Right.
I'm like, damn.
Well, they told you not to go to Crenshaw, didn't they?
Yeah,
So you got to get a job now.
Yeah.
I asked you to come down here for a lot of reasons, and there'll be other visits because you got decades of stuff to tell. Cruising Crenshaw with Snoop, way back in the days, right?
Mhm.
I asked you if you wanted to bring a guest, but you have enough to say,
Mhm.
so you don't
I
need
brought I
somebody,
brought I brought
and you
my
brought one with you.
yeah, this is my compadre Juanuch.
Uh-huh.
I just lost him a couple months ago.
Mhm.
Um, hurt because you know what? He spent many, many times with me on that road, man, going to all these different cities, representing my business with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a ride or die, man. Ride or fucking die. Like, I always wanted to go to shows and set up booths, and he was always the one that I'll go with you. Don't worry, compa, I got your back. Because I would ask the whole club, and everybody say yes, but at the end of the day, it was just me and him. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
it was
not the same anymore without him either.
no,
All those memories, they
no,
go, but man, the best of them is when
yeah,
they're there.
yeah,
Yeah, you only remember when they're gone.
yeah. That
All
sucks,
those good
man.
times go by so quick.
That sucks. And he got to see a lot. He got to see a lot, and he fell in love with the culture too. Because guess what? You know, he wasn't familiar with going to Arizona and meeting
Did he
every.
have a car?
Yep, he had a glass house.
76?
Yep, yeah, yep, Caprice.
Talking about this right now on this subject. You have mentors, people who influenced you. You have any shout outs out there for anybody?
Man, it's a lot.
Mondo High Low.
Of course, Big Rob, out of Inglewood, um, Charles Clayton, Gangster, Rat, Ted Wells, um, one of the first judges, Mays. So many, so many. You know, see Charlie,
Man,
Choo
Mays went a
Choo.
long time ago, man. He didn't, God, because of the way things are today and social media, he never really got the recognition he should have got.
Yeah,
As cool
and to
people,
this day,
man.
a lot of people haven't either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because there's some of them are still here, and it's funny that you're you know like I love what you're doing. This shit is awesome, to be honest with you. And I've been invited to other people, and I've decided not to because
Mhm.
you know I want to support lowriders. If that makes any sense,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
We're like a union.
Correct,
We got to stick
correct,
to that.
correct. Because you know what, me and you could talk hydraulics, we could talk paint, we could talk, builds and
Yeah.
mods and shit like that. That someone that's just sitting behind there that's gonna be asking me great questions that don't mean shit.
They're
Like
hollow. I know. I
man,
know.
it's I like you look at YouTube and there's so many different dudes trying to do like like interview people,
Uh-huh.
and the questions be like, oh my god, dog, what the fuck are you asking them for? Like, I mean, why don't you ask them some real shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, who inspired you? Like,
Right.
who gave you that bug? That you know what I mean?
You could turn around the mic and ask them questions. What are you doing?
Right. And
Do you even
I'm gonna
know?
give you one story, man. And it's uh Dwight from Individuals. Right. And it's funny, I'm looking at the
At the awards, the
yeah,
banner right there, and you have
and it's
Dwight.
funny that I looked at it, I was like, all right, I gotta share this one. So my first lowrider was a Regal, white 81 Regal with the 87 front end,
Yeah.
right? Just got it cut like I told you about Earl's. Just had hydraulics put in, and the person that wired it up was oh my god, he's gonna kill me. He calls himself J Dog, I think it is, but it's Jermaine,
Mhm.
Jermaine. And so, anyways, boom, it's my first weekend out, right? And I'm on top of the world, like I just want to drive. Saturday, Friday, Saturday, I just want to drive wherever I go, right? So, mind you, the weekend before that, it was my first weekend out again. And I'm on Centinela and La Brea. I'm trying my three wheel for the first time. I do it, I get pulled over, I get arrested, right? I get arrested, I go to jail because I had some warrants and they wanted proof of abstracts. I had them, but they were at home. He was like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna take you in and have your mom, someone bring her to the station. So, long story short, I was out a couple hours later, whatever. But then I was discouraged. I was like, you know what, fuck this. It's not meant to
Yeah.
be this weekend. So I wait till the next weekend. And so now I'm leaving Inglewood, going towards Crenshaw. I had my little route, La Brea to Fairview, Fairview cut through West Boulevard, make a left, 60th, make a right. I'm going up 60th, getting to Crenshaw. Now I'm getting ready. I'm like, I'm gonna do my three wheel. I gotta regain my you know what I'm saying? Like regain some type of courage from
Yeah.
what I just went through. So I'm making a left. I'm doing my three wheel. Oh my God, I'm on top of the world, man. The best feeling in the world, right? I come back down and I see in my rearview mirror a fucking Lincoln smashing a baby Lincoln smashing, getting close to me. And I was like, fuck, this fool's he drives pretty fast. You know what I mean? So mind you, now we're a couple blocks up. And as soon as this car gets to I see his front end out the side of my driver's passenger side window. I just hear boosh, boosh. And
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn. And I'm just looking at that fucking uh um drive shaft just spinning. And I'm like, he made me feel this small.
And that was Dwight.
It was Dwight. Got to the next light. I'm like smiling and I'm like,
Big
man.
Dwight, as he likes to be
Yeah,
called,
yeah,
with two
yeah.
G's.
I'm smiling. He looking at me he's like, keep trying, keep trying. And I mean, it was just motivating.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't look at it no other way than just I need
You
to get
told
my
the
shit
wrong
together.
guy that. Yeah,
Yeah, I need to
that's
get my
good.
shit together. But shots out to Dwight. I share that story with him all the time, man. You know what I mean? He's one of my gurus that I look at. That when we were first coming up, they were doing the most out there, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was some dudes that really had some fucking magical fingers that make cars do some crazy ass shit. And he was one of them.
Any other shout outs? Anybody else?
I think I said Chico, of course. Him too let me in the door. And everybody, I'm gonna just put it in a broad way. If you lowride it with me in the last 32 years, like if we actually rode and went to a picnic or a function, any type of thing, it's like, hey, my shout outs to you too, because guess what? We're all family at the end of the day, man. And this shit for life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is there. Rick Rock. Well, you rock this show, man.
Yeah,
A lot of good stuff right there.
yeah.
How do we get a hold of you?
Um,
Social media, phone numbers, I don't know,
right. Instagram is
anything.
Low Life Hydraulics. Facebook is same thing, Low Life Hydraulics. TikTok is Rick Rock Burrell. And then the shop's located in Inglewood. It's Low Life Customs in Inglewood, 310-677-0500. And I'm here.
Mild to Wild,
Yep.
the setups you build.
I mean, basic to whatever you can afford. I love doing custom,
I
but
love you
when
saying
you
that
when
too. Whatever you can afford,
yeah,
right?
because you know
There's
what?
no limits today, man.
Yeah, for real. Like when I'm hearing that people are spending 30 racks on their trunk, I sometimes I laugh and say, okay, I see it,
Yeah.
but then sometimes I laugh and I don't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That goes with interiors, paint, that goes with everything today, right?
Right, right, right.
Man, Rick, it was a pleasure having you here.
Appreciate that, man.
I always say that because I have interesting guests sometimes, and there's just so much to say within this time. But one thing I want to say, we've heard a pretty good story. If I have to recap it for everybody out there, there was a lot said here. And even though the names are changed, I mean, we're all the same. We all live that same type of life, but only there's a few of us out there that are pioneers like yourself and lead by example, like you said today. But before we come to a close on this show, I just want to congratulate you because a few days ago or a week ago, you had your first grandson. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Zy Vincent Borrell. And my son Christian named him Borrell with an O, and that's our original last name. So a wrong that happened in the late 60s
Mhm.
when my dad came here and
Mm-hmm.
the last name got changed on accident because immigration. My son just fixed it, and I know my dad would love it.
Beautiful. Well, there's the influence right there.
Mhm.
If we have a story down the line
Yeah,
in a couple of decades, probably won't be here,
yeah,
but at least the influence will continue and hand off the torch to your grandson,
yeah, for sure.
and low life will never end.
Yeah,
Your club. Looking forward to seeing your club at the next show, man. LA's in a couple of months.
yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, I know you will, with everybody behind you. So there you go, everybody. Wired Down Show. Another great episode. Of course, thank you for being with us. Rick Burrell, Rick Rock. You'll catch him at all the shows. He gave you his information on how you can get a hold of him if you want to be yourself, the highs and lows of hydraulics. Well, he's got a shop. He's got some cars. They were usually on covers of magazines, right? Back in the days. Lots of trophies.
When there was a magazine.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Well, the cell phone got rid of all of that. Now there's videos and podcasts.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll cruise at you later. You cruise Crenshaw, you might see this guy out there taking over.
Hmm.
All right, then.